honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more.
President Joe Biden takes to the stage on night one of the Democratic National Convention tonight, paving the way for Kamala Harris as the Democratic candidate for president.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fox 11 News at 10 o'clock on this Monday night. I'm Marla Tejas.
And I'm Christine Devine.
And I'm Alex Michelson, live in Chicago, home of the Democratic National Convention. Tonight, after nearly 50 years in public life, Joe Biden took a curtain call after midnight on the East Coast, a speech where he felt a lot of love from a crowd that's largely relieved he's no longer the nominee. President Joe Biden symbolically passes the torch to his vice president, Kamala Harris.
Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career. We've not only gotten to know each other, we've become close friends. She's tough, she's experienced, and she has enormous integrity, enormous integrity. Her story represents the best American story. And like many of our best presidents, she was also vice president.
Delegates here with a long-standing ovation for Biden, just weeks after he dropped out of the presidential race against Donald Trump.
He says we're losing. He's the loser. He's dead wrong.
Attendees here grateful.
It means everything that he is here passing the baton.
And you felt like this needed to happen?
Oh, it had to happen. It had to happen.
Him passing the torch in a way that unifies not only Democrats, but also America is critically important to the future of our nation, and we are 100% indebted to him.
Harris offering her own thanks.
And I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible President Joe Biden, who will be speaking later tonight. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do. We are forever grateful to you.
Even though we're here at the United Center in Chicago, the presidential nominee is from California, and there are plenty of speakers from California as well.
Now, I know Kamala, and she feels the importance of this work in her bones.
Among them, L.A. Mayor Karen Bass, Congress members Maxine Waters and Robert Garcia, Senator LaFonza Butler, and Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis.
We are not going back.
Also on stage, Hillary Clinton.
On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States.
In 2016, she almost became our country's first female president, but lost to Donald Trump.
Lying about Kamala's record. He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. But we have him on the run now.
Standing center court is Golden State Warriors leader Steve Kerr, the longtime coach of Steph Curry, who often tells his opponents night-night after dramatic wins.
I'll be getting out every day to help people get out and vote on November 5th and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the next president and vice president of the United States.
And so Kerr said that he hopes to be able to tell Donald Trump night-night. That was the joke there at the end of his speech. Now, part of the story coming into this was what was going to happen when it comes to protesters. We saw some protesters today, but not the estimated 100,000 protesters that were feared. We've got some video. There was a moment when some of the protesters broke through one of the security perimeters, not the main security perimeter, but one of them. They were eventually able to contain that situation, but it certainly impacted getting into the arena. It took over an hour for us to get in. A lot of problems, a lot of logistical problems getting into the DNC that we did not neo-Nazi at the RNC, and they were more than an hour behind schedule in terms of the speakers tonight. That was not a great look for the DNC tonight. As for the Republican side, Donald Trump is trying to counter-program what we are seeing here. He's out on the road this week every day. Today, he was in Pennsylvania, where we heard from him. Also heard from his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in a poor family. I remember talking with my mamaw during very cold winter nights about how low could we turn the heater and still be able to live comfortably in our house that night. That's the conversation that American families have every single day when you have a vice president like Kamala Harris who's raising energy prices instead of lowering energy prices. It is a disgrace.
This race is very, very tight. Coming up when I join you again at 10:15, political analyst Brian Goldsmith will be with me to talk about just how close it is, Marla.
Well, Alex, let me get back to Biden's speech tonight. It ran 49 minutes. Most of that was via teleprompter. There were a few moments that he did go off script. One of those moments, reportedly, when he said this, and all this talk about how I'm angry with all those people who said I should step down, that's not true. That was quite a moment.
That was quite a moment, and at first there were so many applause. I think that moment was lost. He realized that and said it again. That was clearly a message he was trying to get out to the crowd tonight. This stage, probably the biggest political speech that Joe Biden will make probably for the rest of his life, and that was part of his legacy and a message that he wanted to make clear before he, by the way, heads to California tomorrow. He's going to be vacationing in Santa Ynez for the rest of the week while the Democratic convention continues here in Chicago.